Does she know a little bit more than we think she does?
別に押し付けるつもりなんかないよ。明日の夜だけでいいんだ。
嘘だったじゃない。
What? Mion, what was she talking about?
綿流しの夜だけって言って、結局ずっとだった。嘘つき。
Oh no. Oh no, no, I'm getting flashbacks.
でもおあいこかな。私全然あなたとの約束守っあの子はずっとほったらかしだしね。
I had no idea what to say to that. Mion was clearly now talking to someone other than me. I didn't know who. All I could do was listen to her in a daze.
あれからずっと帰ってこないのに、あの子のことをもう一度知ってるためだけにまた電話をしてきたんですね。
Did Satoshi do something like this a year ago? I'm gonna take a guess here and say that this is the same thing as the first time where Rena was like Satoshi was doing the same thing running around with a bat. And maybe Satoshi had the exact same plan to murder the uncle with a bat. And if that's the case, this is a very interesting parallel we've got between these two characters.
本当にずるい人。ねえ、あなた、サトシ君、なんでしょう。
ミオ、さっきから何の話だ？
When I said her name, whatever spell was on Mion was released.
あ、
Ha!
ごめん、なんでもないの。ちょっと、ケイちゃんの今の電話にそっくりな電話を昔受けたことがあって。
Ooh.
それ、ひょっとしてサトシか？
Mion didn't answer. All I could hear were sobs coming through the receiver.
ごめんね。ちょっと私、寝ぼけてるみたい。
You're not 18, you can't have the alcohol, all the anime characters know
変
that.
なとこで感情的になっちゃった。ごめんね、焦ったでしょ。
I had no idea how it had happened. But I was pretty sure that last year on this very day, Satoshi had called Mion and told her to bring Satoko to the festival. And when asked why he needed her to do it, he replied the same way I just did.
サトシ、祭りに行かなかったんだな。
うん。
You're gonna run away too,
用
Keiichi.
事があるから自分は行けないって言って、代わりに私にサトコを祭りに連れて行ってくれって。
その時、サトシも言ったんだな。サトコを頼むって。
うん、言ったよ。明日の夜だけ頼むってね。ケイちゃんの言い方があまりにもよく似てたんでちょっと思い出して取り乱しちゃった。
I didn't expect this. Satoshi had given her the exact same phone call 1 year ago today. Mion kept going after that. That he was lying. That he told her it would only be for the night of the festival.
そうだったな。サトシはその数日後に消えた。
Disappeared might have been a rather vague way to put it. Whether he ran away or not, Satoshi left, abandoning Satoko.
そう、天候でもなく家出でもなく消えたの。
And then an idea far more indistinct than even fog crossed my mind. Satoshi made exactly the same phone call as me last year. Why would Satoshi make the exact same phone call? If, in the truest sense, he made the exact same phone call as I am right now, then the incident where their aunt was beaten to death, could it...
サトシだ。
え、何が？
Last year, Satoku had been constantly abused by her uncle's wife, their aunt too. Her aunt abused her the most. And on that night, in the name of Oyashiro-sama's curse, she was taken from this world. If I thought about that, everything made perfect sense, didn't it?
去年サトコのおばが殴り殺されたじゃないか。あれサトシってことは考えられないか？
No, but that would mean... But then Satoshi... He was a coward who abandoned Satoko and ran away, wasn't he? How could Satoshi resolve himself to kill a person? To save Satoko? It was unthinkable.
私も実はそれを疑ったことがある。サトシには悪いけど。
A few days later, he disappeared. On Satoko's birthday. When I first heard it, I flew into a rage. What a cruel day to have run away on. But now that I thought about it like this, the story changed completely. Satoshi had probably been even less calm than I was now. He was her big brother, related by blood, watching his little sister be abused day in and day out. Maybe that's why he couldn't keep calm. And that was why the corpse of their aunt beaten to death was so easily discovered. Satoshi lost himself in his anger and hadn't hidden the corpse. He permitted a beginning to occur. If the police conducted a full-blown investigation, it was easy to imagine they wouldn't take long to pin down Satoshi as the culprit. Satoshi, he wished for a return to peaceful days with Satoko, and thought he achieved it though he achieved it for a time, he'd been steadily driven into a corner. And then he wanted to at least hold out until Satoku's birthday, but finally they nailed him. At the time, Satoshi had been carrying the savings he'd amassed to buy Satoko a giant stuffed animal for a birthday present. He would buy the stuffed animal as her gift, and then get caught. Or he could use the money and disappear. That was the choice he had been forced to make. And he decided not to make Satoko the sister of a murderer. If that was the case, then it must have been an unspeakably bitter decision. All that money he saved wanting to see Satoko happy, he had to use it to make her sad. And he used the savings. And disappeared. To Tokyo, if the rumors were true.
サトシはそれで消えたのか？
それはわからない。大石なんかはそう思ってるみたいだけどね。
Oishi, had he been slowly driven into a corner by that repulsive man's pig-headed pursuit?
確かに状況証拠は揃ってるけど、多分ケイちゃんの推理は外れだと思う。県内のどっかで捕まったろくでなしが犯行を自供したっていうし。
That was right. The deviant had confessed, and the incident was solved.
そいつは本当にただの異常者で、ひなみ沢とは何の縁もない男だったって。もちろんサトシとも何の関係もない。だからそんな奴がサトシの身代わりになって嘘をついてくれたなんて到底思えないし。
You couldn't just arbitrarily decide like that. Whoops. You never know where or how humans are tied together. If that guy took the blame, then it was the perfect crime. Of course, if it was really a perfect crime, there would have been no reason for Satoshi to vanish.
それに、サトシには逃亡資金なんてなかったと思う。サトシが預金を下ろした日、これは誰に言っても信じてくれないんだけど、 聡子のために買うと言ってたぬいぐるみが売れてショーケースからなくなってたの。きっとサトシが買ったに違いない。
ちょっと待てよ。逃走資金に使わないでぬいぐるみを買うために使ったなら聡子のところへ帰るはずだろ。ぬいぐるみを買ってそれを届けもせずに蒸発するなんて考えられない。
だからわからなくなっちゃうんだよ。まとまったお金があるならともかく貯金を全部使っちゃったならサトシは無一文。お金もなく逃亡生活ができるほど世の中は甘くないよ。
I didn't get it. After all that, I was understanding Satoshi less and less. The two of us fell silent. I couldn't remember how we even got on this topic.
ごめん、どこで話が脱線しちゃったんだか。聡子の件ね、安心していいよ。実はもうちゃんと誘ってあるんだよ。
え、本当かよ。
祭りの準備でみんなで神社に行った時さ、聡子を祭りに呼ぼうって話になったんだよ。それで集会所の電話でそのまま電話して誘ったんだ。おじのやつよそよそしくて勝手にしろみたいな感じだったけど、とりあえず OK はしてくれた。明日みんなで待ち合わせしていくことになってるんだよ。安心した？サトシ。
バカ、俺はサトシじゃないって。
I was a little relieved. I hadn't needed to make the phone call. Satoko had already been invited to the festival. And not in a way that smelled of blood. A way to leave her uncle alone to create time for me to kill him. They purely wanted Satoko to enjoy herself. So they invited her. In the end, it was the same. But I was happy for that slight difference.
すまないな。俺が電話をするまでもなかった。昨日にしろ今日にしろ変な話ばかりしてすまないな。忘れてくれ。
こっちこそ本当に申し訳ない。柄にもなく取り乱しちゃって本当にごめん。
We apologized to each other for a little bit.
じゃあ俺はこれで失礼するな。おやすみ。
何の用事？
As if interrupting our parting words, Mian struck it straight where it hurt.
それもまたサトシと同じように言えない？
Oof.
バカ。だから俺はサトシじゃないって言ってるだろ。
そんなのは分かってるよ。
I deflected her with a response that wasn't really an answer. Mian didn't hound me anymore after that.
じゃあ今度こそおやすみな。
どうしてケイちゃんがサトシ君と全く同じ電話をしてきたのかわからないけれど、なんでもない。ごめんね。おやすみ。
切るぞ。
Click. Satoshi Hojo. Just who are you? I scorned you as a coward who ran away, abandoning his sister. I always thought you didn't have the right to call yourself her Nini. But now I didn't know what to think. Oyashiro-sama's curse on the 4th year. Their aunt's death and Satoshi's disappearance. And now me, trying to carry out Oyashiro-sama's curse on the 5th. Oddly enough, what I was going to do overlapped perfectly with Satoshi, the day before the curse. No, that wasn't all. If we start back from Satoko being abused, then I'd been overlapping with Satoshi for days already. When I talked to Mian before, she asked me if I was Satoshi. If that was the first impression a third party like Mian got, then it was probably true. Then as Satoshi had accomplished, I would succeed in the murder. But that was the extent to which we overlapped. I was far calmer than Satoshi, and more calculating. I could actually grow calmer, the more enthusiastic I became. That's why I wouldn't follow in Satoshi's footsteps. I would snip him cleanly out of the world, and then get her peaceful life back. Maybe Satoshi has been with me ever since I chose to use Satoshi's bat as my weapon. No, maybe even longer than that. When I decided I'd be your Nini, maybe Satoshi had been residing within me then too. Satoshi, were you really a coward? Or are you a true Nini even now? The kind worthy of Satoku's love. I'd never met him, never spoken to him, didn't even know his face. And yet, I felt so connected to him. I'd never felt that way before. I will say, though, that you're incredibly suspicious to me on now. Still, that is a little reassuring that, he succeeded before, so maybe you could succeed now? Of course, then again, maybe he might be expecting something like this. Perhaps. For the attention of those on the housewife slaughter incident case. July 1982. Okinomiya Police Station 1st Investigative Division. Chief Takatsugi, Prefecture Police Headquarters for the Eradication of Drug-Related Crime. Shishibone Branchhead. Regarding incident designed as undercover investigation. This message is to inform you that a section of the testimony records of an incident under this police headquarters jurisdiction has been found that it is thought to be related to the undercover investigation of the incident in question, Okinomiya Police Station X, Hinamizawa Village housewife slaughter incident. During investigation of suspect who was arrested for possession of illegal drugs, there was testimony related to the crime in question. As part of it, we learned that the criminal had information only he could have known. Therefore, this record of testimony, duplicate attached, will be provided to you. Looks like they're talking about the drugged up guy that admitted to the crime after Satoshi vanished. If this testimonial is to be believed, then there's an extremely high chance that the suspect was the culprit behind the incident in question. In addition, the head investigator on the case received this report and inquired as to the incident with the Okinomiya Police Station. But the responsible party at Okinomiya Station, who responded to the designated undercover investigation announced by the Prefectural Police's General Director on July 1st, 1982, Osamu Fukane, B112, misunderstood. It did not explain the incident's existence to the head investigator on the case properly. Because of this, the case's head investigator was not aware of the importance of the testimony as it related to the case in question, and as a result, was negligent when combing the scene. We apologize for having left it in the dark until now. In addition, there is a postscript stating that the suspect died while in confinement yesterday. Spooky. Oh, but yeah, let's cut off the spooky. Well, certainly a little bit, I'm not sure how to feel. It's definitely tense, but just in sort of the sense that I wonder if Keiichi's going to succeed. Not necessarily the whole overarching plan. I think his weakest point is the murder itself. If he can get the murder down and there's nobody around, I think he's got a reasonably decent chance to get away with it. Probably. That's probably the hardest thing, because, like, getting him to come out of the house, I can sort of see Keiichi's line of logic. You know, getting him worried about looking negligent, and child abuse. But, of course, if that doesn't happen, the whole plan kind of gets sucked. I don't think what I just said made any sense, but I hope it did. But, okay, so he gets him out of the house. The guy comes down on his motorcycle, presumably, down the trail. Keiichi is, I guess, going to clothesline him with the bat or something. Like, smash it as he comes across. Which, I mean, if he connected with the guy's face, would more than likely kill him on impact. And depending on where he hit him, it could definitely incapacitate him, even if he didn't hit him in the face. So let's say that all happens. There's blood everywhere. Alright? Little bit worried about how to clean up that crime scene. I don't think Keiichi's thought about that, but let's just say this all works out pretty well, and all the blood kind of gets scattered into the forest where nobody really sees it. Maybe, it rains, right? It rains, like the forecast is saying, so it kind of washes away the blood. Could cover up the crime scene, perhaps. Now Keiichi has to figure out how to lug a 200-ish pound person through the forest, what seems like a pretty considerable way. If you don't want to get seen while you're bearing the body, I'm going to take a wild guess and say at least 100 feet away, right? Could be farther, but if the forest is really dense, 100 feet might be enough. And that might be outside of the range that, a police officer would look if combing the whole path, perhaps. And hopefully the rain would maybe cover up the tracks and the presumable, you're dragging the body through the forest, right? So you're going to be leaving, a trail. The broken branches and a muddy rut, really, probably. So that might not be great. You get the body to your site. You throw him in. You cover him back up. Presumably, you're going to want to disguise the site, because if someone manages to, I doubt they'd stumble their way out there, but if they're looking and they find this trail, you might want to, start disguising it a bit, so that even if they get close, they don't see it. You also need to dispose of the bat. I doubt you don't want to keep walking around with that. It's probably covered in blood, but could be washed off. I don't know. I would say it'd be a little bit better to get rid of the bat rather than hold on to it, so maybe bury it with the body. You're going to need your shovel, probably. I mean, he's going to have to use a shovel to dig, but he's probably going to need the shovel to put the dirt back on, otherwise that's going to be a lot of hand moving of dirt. And I think it would take longer, so shovel's probably the way you want to go. It might be a little suspicious to lose the shovel, but that might also, you could just say, I don't know what happened to the shovel, and dispose of that too, because otherwise you're going to have to walk back to your house in the rain with a shovel. I don't know. It's a little weird. Presuming he does all of this, he's now going to hope that nobody notices, and if they... Oh, that was my bowl, sorry. And if they do notice that, that they don't search out far enough, that it's far enough away from the trail that anyone walking the trail wouldn't notice anything off. And, after a couple months, maybe a year, that trail might go completely cold. Might have gotten away with a crime. Perhaps. But I kind of feel like it's not going to go that smoothly, because that might not be nearly as exciting. I feel like there's going to be a lot of Oishi coming around, getting real close and uncomfortable to Keiichi. Staring at him, telling him, hey, get in my car, I want to talk to you, kid. That kind of thing. Making him real uncomfortable, like, does he know? I don't know. And he's going to be like, we know, Keiichi. And Keiichi's going to freak out. That's probably what's going to happen. Also, Mion's, super knowledgeable about what's happened here. She probably is very suspicious. So, there's that as well. At this point, I think she knows so much that it would be better to bring her in as an accomplice. You might be able to get away with that. I feel like not telling her anything is just going to get you caught. I've rambled on a lot here. Sorry, but I like the thinking through this whole process. It's an okay starting point, but I just feel like he's not considering some of the more dangerous things that could happen, the dangerous ways he could get caught, and how he would be able to deal with these. And I think he's got the ending down pretty decently, for the most part, barring any random stragglers walking through the woods while he's doing all this. The hardest parts are the physical murder and luring him out of the house. If he gets that far, I'd say he probably is going to succeed. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you think, of course without spoilers. And I'll see you next time for some more Higurashi. Bye!